I was reviewing for various papers like the Times, Financial Times, Independent, and I was reviewing Henning Mankell. Henning Mankell would arrive, but so would a Ruth Rendell, so would Frederick Forsyth. And then slowly but surely, more and more Scandinavians are appearing. Then Stieg Larsson appears. And then, although Henning Mankell has all the respectability and the sales, the real cataclysm, if you like, is Stieg Larsson. And then we get the killing. So then we start to get critical mass. So we get a literary invasion, which is clearly, although Stieg Larsson's dead before it starts, if you like. And then we get all those incredible shows from the Scandinavian countries. And there seems to be no sign of it, relenting. The appeal of Scandinavian crime fiction to the Brits is interesting on a whole series of levels. So you've got the psychological level. There's also the fact that we regard it as fairly serious and intelligent, more than most British or American fare. It takes its time. It doesn't rely on car fights, car crashes and fights and so forth. It just does things correctly. Also, there's a sense that we're similar to the Swedes and the Danes in a way that we're not similar to the Italians. So we'll watch Montalbano and we like to see him sitting by the Mediterranean having a nice meal. But that's not real life. Real life is detectives wandering around council estates and having clashes with their bosses. So it's, I think, the similarity and overall the climate. So we respond to the bleakness and what we see. Most of the Danish and Swedish series don't present a tourist view of the country. So a series like Broadchurch is shot in a flat, cool, slightly antiseptic style. There are big performances, there are big actually performances in it, but it's quite different from most British cop shows. You've got shows like Top of the Lake, which isn't British, also looks like Scandinavian. The Scandinavian influence is starting to spread out. A show like Shetland, another one, which again took its time, didn't offer easy rewards to the viewer. And I think people are now more prepared to pay attention. The Killing did that with subtitles. So people had to suddenly read subtitles who'd never read them. They had to see The Killing because it became socially sort of de rigueur to watch The Killing. You had to apologise if you hadn't seen The Killing. But in order to watch it, you had to read subtitles. There's an interesting British influence on the Scandinavians. It's mainly a female one. When I was writing Nordic Noir, I interviewed a lot of writers like Ruth Rendell. Ruth Rendell's a British writer who influenced, well, she's half Swedish, but she reads all the Scandinavians in Swedish. But also those guys are influenced by shows like Prime Suspect, Jane Tennyson. I hear again and again, Arne Dahl says, I'm influenced by Prime Suspect. So the strong female protagonist who is not doing well in her private life, but gets the job done at the expense of her private life, it's Jane Tennyson and it's Sutherland. We have seen characters like Saga Norén before, Elizabeth Salander, and there have been several women who are on the autistic spectrum, if you like, but nothing like Saga. And Elizabeth Salander is someone who can't function in any normal environment, so she really is damaged. Very damaged woman, but still a heroine in many ways. Saga Norén is a professional policewoman. So somehow the show and the success of the show is about how she copes with the fact that she can't do normal humour interaction, but she has to. And the most fascinating thing about the show, more than the crimes and the investigation, is her learning to be a human being. Borgen may be not crime, but Adam Priester, when I interviewed him, said, I'd pointed out that it really had the structure of a thriller. That Borgen, each episode is a kind of a thriller in which the heroine is given a task to overcome, which she usually does by the end in the same way that Sutherland manages to nail the bad guys at the end. And it has that pace of a thriller. And also it has, if you look at Katrina Fonsmark's apartment, the investigative reporter, on her wall is a poster for All the President's Men, which is a kind of investigative thriller, if you like. And you see it again and again and again. So I think Borgen became part of the Nordic Noir movement. The legacy, it'll be interesting to see how that does. The word is fantastic, and I haven't seen it myself yet. It's a drama. It's not crime, but I think now there is now a hunger for anything from the Scandinavian countries. I think people will watch it.